I've just finished unboxing the Pixel 7 Pro, and now I'm going to do the exact same ruddy thing with the smaller, less expensive version, the regular Pixel 7. And yeah, you may not get the telephoto camera lens or the swanky Quad HD Plus massive display of that Pro model, but the Pixel 7 smartphone will also cost you a couple of £100 less at just £599 here in the UK, and of course it's got that pleasing hand feel. And regular viewers will know I'm all about the hand feel. So let's whip the Pixel 7 on out of the box, check out the gaming chops, the camera tech, all that good stuff. And for more on the latest and greatest tech, please do plug subscribe and ding that notifications bell. Cheers! Timber! So what do you get in the Pixel 7 box besides the Pixel 7? The answer is not bloody much. We're literally talking a Type-C to Type-C USB cable and a Type-A to Type-C USB adapter, and a wee warranty guide thing that you'll never ever bother to read, so what's the bloody point? And no kidding, that is it. No adapter, no case, no nothing like that. So back in the days of classic unboxing videos, this would be the shortest video ever. Thankfully, it's better news once you come to fondle the Pixel 7 because it is pleasingly compact. Already, I'm enjoying this. At 6.3 inches, it's one of the more compact smartphones of 2022. That's helped along by the fact that the bezels are fairly skinny surrounding that display. You don't quite get that same wraparound action from the screen that you do on the Pro model. It is a perfectly flat display, but to be fair, I probably prefer that anyway. 197 grams, the Pixel 7 certainly still has a heft to it, although it's not too troublesome. You once again have an aluminium frame here on the Pixel 7, although it's a matte finish here, which again is probably better because it repels fingerprints. And this smartphone is reasonably thick, although we're not quite talking iPhone levels of chunk here. Flip around to the back and you've got a glossy glass finish that is available in 3 different colors. This is the Snow model. You can also grab it in Obsidian or Lemongrass. So basically white, black, and the color of somebody's urine after they've consumed far too much apple sours. Just a subtle bit of Google branding on that arse, otherwise it is completely plain. And then of course you've got that metal camera band stretching across the top end there. And this is certainly an improvement over the camera strip on the old Pixel 6 smartphones. It just looks better. It integrates seamlessly into that edging as well, which is really nice. And a quick pro tip for you as well, the black one, the Obsidian model, does show off grimy fingerprints and scuffs quite easily, whereas here on the white model they seem mostly hidden unless the light strikes that surface just so. Now, it's Gorilla Glass Victus front and back on the Pixel 7 here, which is great news if it's Saturday night, you've had a skinful, you've got your doner and chips, your hands are a bit greasy, pull your Pixel 7 out of your pocket to check the bus times or just send another ill-advised message to your ex. Phone goes flying because of all the grease, oh no, smacks down onto concrete, but phew, it's fine because that Victus is more shatter resistant than standard Gorilla Glass, so hopefully all good. Although Victus does tend to scratch up more easily than earlier editions of Gorilla Glass as well, so you'll probably want to slap a screen protector on that front end and a case or cover on the back end anyway. And this phone is also IP68 water and dust resistant, so you can just do a bit of this if you want to. Get it proper in there, super moist. How'd you like that, Pixel, eh? How'd you like that? So let's shift on to the software, and it's Android 13, the latest, freshest version of Google's OS, running here, of course, on the Pixel 7, with a guaranteed at least minimum 5 years of security updates, so hopefully should see you through the long haul. I'll be perfectly honest, I'd probably struggle to tell Android 13 apart from Android 12 because it is very, very similar indeed, basically the same layout. You got that same material UI, which is quick and easy to customize. You can flick between all of your recent wallpapers with just a quick tap up here. And I would highly recommend sticking your own wallpaper on here because this is Google's default effort here on the Snow model, and frankly it just looks like someone shot their load all over your Pixel 7. Apparently it's supposed to be feathers. Google's really going for a feather motif this time around. Me, I think I'm just going to stick to the geeky anime stuff. And as usual, you can easily switch up the colors of the UI to match the wallpaper color as well, so everything is consistent. And this includes any supported themed icons as well, which are mostly just the Google shiz. Most of the changes are just little tweaks and updates to existing features like the at-a-glance effort. So now, for instance, you can tell whenever a parcel is delivered to your front door, as long as you've got a Nest doorbell, that is. Likewise, dive on into the digital wellbeing section, and your Pixel 7 can even tell you if you've been hacking your guts up or snoring all night long as well, which is something that, frankly, my wife already does for me, although at least the Pixel 7 probably won't alert you by elbowing you right in the nads. Google's Titan M2 security processor is once again on board, just like with the Pixel 6 series, and this securely stores your biometrics, including your fingerprint data. And when I first heard that the Pixel 7s would again be using an optical in-display fingerprint sensor, my initial thought was, oh Christ, here we go again. But touch wood, so far here on the Pixel 7 series, just like the Pixel 6 is, it's been absolutely fine, not shonky as shit. And yes, thank the baby Jesus, you do have a bit of face unlock action at long last on Pixel smartphones with the 7 series. Quick and easy to set up, just agree to the usual T's and C's, and then what you got to do is stick your head in frame and then tilt up and tilt down. Got a couple of different options you can toggle on and off. Require eyes to be open, definitely a good idea for added security, and then of course a bit of skip lock screen so there's no swiping involved. And so far I've found that this works really well. Just tap that power button and you're pretty much straight into your smartphone. You barely even see that lock screen. Definitely a good one if you've got moist or grubby fingers. Although the face unlock can only be used to unlock the Pixel 7, it can't be used to log into apps or authorize payments. And one new Android 13 feature which I am looking forward to testing out, it's not here yet unfortunately, but it's Google's fresh new VPN baked into Google One, which it promised us at the Pixel 7 launch. Hopefully won't be waiting too long for that. You want some specs? Alright, I'll give you some specs. Storage, 128 or 256 gigs. But oh bother, there's no space in that SIM tray for a micro SD memory card to expand that storage, and in fact there's only space for one SIM card, although at least the Pixel 7 supports eSIM as well. Oh, so now let's have a shufty at that 6.3 inch OLED display, which as I say, perfectly flat, mostly fills the front end of the Pixel 7. And as you would expect from a flagship smartphone, even at this price, it is gorgeous OLED technology. So that means sharp contrast, all those blacks, nice and deep. Super wide viewing angles, can see this thing from any direction, so you and a couple of mates can cram your heads around and enjoy a bit of Netflixes or the Disney Pluses. Maybe some dude sat in his converted garage pretending he knows things about technology. Got full HDR streaming support, videos just look fantastic on this thing, no worries whatsoever. And if you are out and about quite a lot, good news, it peaks at 1400 nits brightness, so you'll have no trouble seeing what is going on, even on a sunshiny day. And yeah, you've got a selfie cam orifice up top, which is a bit of a blot when you go full screen, but it doesn't intrude that much on the action at all, certainly compared with the likes of Apple's efforts, the living floater or whatever it's called. If you jump on down through the display settings, you can slightly tinker with the color output, stuff like that. You've also got the smooth display option as well. This is active by default and it just allows that display to bump up to 90 Hz when you're viewing supported content. And this is active when you're just idly flipping around Android. Such a silky smooth experience, absolutely lovely stuff. But is the Pixel 7 as pleasing to your lug holes as it is to your peepers? Well, the good news is it's a stereo speaker setup. Again, like pretty much every flagship out there, but let's bump the volume, see if it's good.
So maybe have a few whiskies, squint really hard, and then jiggle your telly or whatever you're watching this load of bollocks on.
And that isn't bad at all, to be fair, considering the Pixel 7 is quite a bit dinkier than a lot of other smartphones out there right now. The bottom speaker is definitely doing most of the work here. The top speaker is pretty good though, it's not too far off. Fairly tinny on that top volume, but quite loud as well. And you've got Bluetooth 5.2 for all your streaming needs as well, because there's no headphone jack on here, oh bollocks. I don't know why I'm singing this bit, I guess I just love unboxing so much. Now running the show here on the Pixel 7 is again Google's Tensor G2 chipset co-created with Samsung, backed here by 8 gigs of DDR5 RAM. Unfortunately, my early gaming tests, the Pixel 7 did not perform particularly well, with Genshin Impact jacked up to the maximum detail settings and running at 60 frames per second. Well, it wasn't running at 60 frames per second. I saw several drops, several judders in that frame rate. Allegedly, the Mali G710 GPU, which is packed inside of here, is 20% faster and more power efficient than the G78 found in the Pixel 6, but I found that the performance was just as janky and unreliable, to be perfectly honest. It's a real shame I had to jack down the graphics settings in order to get a smoother, purer frame rate. But of course, it's very early days for the Pixel 7 series. They haven't got on general release yet, so hopefully an update will fix this performance and we'll get that flagship quality, super smooth gameplay that we really should expect at this sort of price point. At least Google's game dashboard is here in full effect, so you've got a small selection of gaming tools to play with, including the ability to record the screen, take screenshots, and a do not disturb. Sadly, as you can see there, optimization not available for Genshin Impact just yet, but you can stream your gameplay directly to YouTube Live if you don't suck like I do. And I completely forgot to mention in the sexy specs section, you do have full 5G connectivity and Wi-Fi 6E as well, courtesy of that Tensor chipset. So far, the Wi-Fi seems absolutely perfect. Haven't tested the mobile connectivity yet, you'll have to wait for my in-depth review for more on that. As for the battery, well, because the Pixel 7 has shrunk slightly over the old Pixel 6, it's now a 6.3 incher instead of a 6.4 incher, that also means unfortunately that the battery has shrunken down to a 4,355 mAh effort. So far doesn't seem to be draining too quick, but I will reserve judgment for when my SIM's in there full time and I'm using it as my smartphone and I can actually deliver a proper verdict. Sadly, the charging tech, not particularly pant-wettingly thrilling. It is just 30-watt wired charging on here, though you at least got your wireless charging, so you can do that if you can't be asked to bung a cable in the bottom. And now, the grand finale. Let's take a squint at the Pixel 7's camera tech, headed up by a 50-megapixel Octa-PD quad-beer shooter with optical image stabilization. It's the same ruddy camera we found on the Pixel 6 from last year, same sensor size, same aperture level, everything. But there have been some tweaks to the camera software and features, and to be fair, the Pixel 6 spotted one of the best cameras of last year. One of the new bits on here is the long exposure mode, which can add a nice blurry effect to your subject to show them in motion. And you've also got the action pan effort as well, which can blur out the background, make it look like they're really nipping along at a good pace. Besides that, Joe, it's very much business as usual. You've got the likes of the night sight mode for your low light shots, your portrait mode to add a nice bokeh style effect. And of course, got a bit of Google Lens action, why not? And besides that 50 megapixel primary sensor, you also have a 12 megapixel ultra wide angle shooter that you can swap to fit a bit more into frame. Well, that's your whack, sadly, just the two lenses. You don't have a telephoto lens, so if you do zoom in, it is just digital zoom. And here's just a small selection of sample shots that I snapped with merry delight here on the Pixel 7 in my first sort of 48 hours-ish with it. I will be giving you a full in-depth camera review when I fully review the actual smartphone itself. But so far it's holding up very well across a wide range of conditions, as you would kind of expect from a Pixel device. For your video shenanigans, you can shoot up to Ultra HD 4K resolution footage at 30 or 60 frames per second, and that's with the primary sensor and also that ultra wide angle shooter too. And again, stay tuned for my full verdict on the Pixel 7's video chops, but here's just a couple of sample clips of little fluffy beings doing cute things. You've also got the fresh new cinematic blur video mode, which as you can see there can actually blur out the background in a bokeh style effect again. And then last up around front, it is a basic 10.8 megapixel fixed focus selfie cam, hopefully better than the Pixel 6's, which was not very good to be fair. Here's some simple test selfies that I kind of snapped when I was out and about, looking incredibly happy to be alive, as always. I'll try to suck less when I do the full review. And just like the rear cam with the front camera, you can shoot up to Ultra HD 4K resolution footage, again with that nice crisp, clear audio pickup. And there you have it, you gorgeous, lovely human being, you. That is my full in-depth unboxing and tour of the Google Pixel 7. And as you can see, not exactly much of an evolution at all over last year's tech. You know, they bunged in the new Tensor G2 chipset, slightly more compact, slightly smaller battery therefore, unfortunately. Is it going to be worth that £599 UK asking price? Well, as I say, stay tuned. My sim will be slapped in there full time and I will give you my in-depth review, hopefully within the month. For now though, it'd be great to hear your thoughts down in the comments below. Please do plug, subscribe and ding that notifications bell for more on the latest and greatest tech, and have yourselves a ruddy, wonderful rest of the week. Cheers everyone. Love you.